Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Mindy, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Perfect. Was that Ben that I heard a hello from as well?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, I think we're ready to get going here. I'll turn on my screen here so I can say hi to everybody.
Oh,
There we go. Apologize for the delay, everybody. Just trying to get used here to GoToWebinar. Our marketing director, Holly, unfortunately is ill, and she's usually the one that runs these, so I apologize for starting here just a few minutes late. I just want to thank everybody first for coming out to hear to watch this demo with Securly. Like we talked about last week on the quick presentation we had with the state, they're just in 30 minutes. There's just so much we could show you that there's no way we could do it in that short time. So thank you for coming to watch a longer demo. We're going to try and get through as much of the filter as we can today. As a quick reminder, there were some key products we talked about that were included in our bid, and some of the ones that were not were specifically like MDM and Visitor. But as far as the baseline filter and auditing tools that we're going to show you today, those are all included in our base bid with the state. So just by way of introductions, I'm Kyle. I'm with Pine Cove, account manager over here. Happy to field any questions as you're going. So I'll be kind of watching the chat. If you guys have things come up, please be interactive and just ask us along the way. I'll do a quick introduction over to Vin. And Vin, do you want to give you a quick hello and introduction?
Yes, hi, my name's Vin. I'm the Director of Sales for Securly. I've been with Securly for over 4 years now. I'm excited to chat with whoever's on. I can't really tell. This is my first time using GoToMeeting. We're used to the Zoom days. So, but yeah, we're here to kind of showcase to you the overall solution of Securly, get you kind of a deep dive and just see how we can assist the districts that are out here.
Yeah. Mindy, do you want to jump in and say hello as well?
Sure. I don't know how to turn on my camera. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I don't know how to make it work. So, yeah, I'm Mindy. I am the regional sales manager for Wyoming. So Vin's my boss, and he is super technical. That's why he's here, and I'm here just to be in the background.
Thank you for that. Well, with that, I'm actually going to just turn it over to the security folks here. We're going to try and spend this entire hour doing, in the console doing a demo. So we want to show you the features. We want to show you what it looks like. I'm just going to make one statement and I will shut up. The one thing I always say is people love Securly's reporting. I say that over and over again. Once you see this dashboard and you see how easy it is to use, it's just head and shoulders above any other filtering software we've seen. And that's what I really want to hit on a lot is just, you're going to have a great filter. Securly does a great job, whether you went Securly or one of those other products. I think everyone does a great job filtering, but really some of the biggest add-ons are just how great we are going to be in terms of categorizing things. Again, providing great filtering and reporting for your faculty members, your administration, just taking that load off of you, I think is huge. And then just some of the other add-ons we've included in our base bid with, auditing and things like that. So with that, I'll stop talking. I'll give it over to Mindy now. Mindy, let me see. I think I can make you a presenter. Can you already share your screen, or is that not an option yet?
I think I can, but we're gonna have Vin do that.
Oh, let me make Vin do that. Okay, let me go back here.
Kyle, do you know if I can interact with folks here, or is it just kind of like they enter in a question?
We've just done chat only for now, if that's okay.
Yeah, maybe we could have everybody introduce themselves in the chat then, so we know who's here.
That'd be great. Then you should have that, the ability to present share screen now. Do you see that?
Yep, I gotta give them my permissions really quick. 1 second.
And if you're here in the chat, just drop your name in and where you're from. We'd love to know where you're calling from or where you're sitting while you're watching this.
Perfect. Can y'all see my screen?
I can, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. But yes, feel free to drop in the chat there, kind of let us get to know you a little bit more. We can, of course, direct questions exactly to your need. But like I said, my name is Vin. I'm the Director of Sales for Securely. And so one of the big things we want to resolve or solve here is the world of filtering, right? There's so many different web filters out there. There's so many different ways to filter a solution. And I really wanted to pinpoint exactly why Securely is so unique, why we're in 20% of school districts across the US, but also, why is this going to be the best solution for every school district, right? So right off the bat, number one thing is with Securely, natively, we can work on any type of device, right? So from Chromebooks to PCs to Macs to Windows, if you have a device at that school, Securely will be able to provide full filtering on any one of those devices. And even better, we'll filter at any site. So from on campus, of course, to at home, at grandma's house, wherever your devices are moving, Securely runs 24/7 and will be able to provide you with kind of pretty much an unlimited filtering access to these devices. Now, the big thing here is where does this data store? What does it look like? And that's exactly what you're seeing on my screen right now. So as a user, when you log in, what we're going to present to you here is just a quick overview of what are my students doing online, right? So in this dashboard, I can see here under top visited sites. So it looks like my top site is Google, right? Of course, students are using Google to search for those questions of curiosity, to find help with homework, right? That data is going to be populated right here. Now we're also going to showcase to you, though, your top sites and your top videos. Some school districts give access to YouTube, some don't. If you are one of those school districts that do, you'll be able to take a look at that information right here. So as they scroll down, I want to skip the most flagged section real quick, but we'll definitely get back to that. Looking at top block sites, of course, now we're going to do searches as well. So how Securely has the ability to do this is that we are doing SSL decryption on some of these sites. And with searches, right, we're looking at Google, Bing, Yahoo, right, top block searches. Kids are looking at movies, Squid Games, AK-47. I can also take a look at top allowed searches, right, that are happening on your devices. Now, that just covers the filtering side. The other second half of Securely that's really, really invaluable is our flagged alerts. And when I say flagged alerts, I'm talking about students looking up things of suicide, cyberbullying, self-harm, violence, threats to the school, profanity, right? When these triggers happen, Securely's in real time is going to notify the school district, but in this dashboard, we're going to showcase it here as well. And this is where the most flagged is coming into play. So, excuse me, with this, right, this is showcasing on the most flags is these students are your most flagged students, right? We're going to showcase your top 5. Of course, I can expand this to take a look at even more if I'd like. But what this is saying that B. Dempsey here, this student was flagged 6 times. So this is a great opportunity for the school district.
Okay, it looks like Vin has frozen. Let's give him a second to see if he can get back on. Technology is the best until it isn't, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody, we know Vin is frozen. So let's see if maybe, there we go, Vin is out. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Mandy, let me hear you. I'll make you the presenter there. See if you can do that now.
Okay. which icon is it for me to share my, is that,
Oh, Finn's back.
oh, okay.
Then let me add you back as the presenter again. Sorry, we had a glitch there.
No worries. Where did I cut off at? I apologize.
You're actually still back on the dashboard. You're scrolling to the very bottom of the dashboard and then just it cut out. Oh no, did he freeze again?
Uh-oh.
Apologize everybody for the technology inconvenience here. Mindy, do you want me to make you the panelist and you can share your screen?
Yeah. Okay. Screen, but I don't see what.
In your share tray, there should be an option for
Nothing. I'm just getting little clicks no matter what I click on. So apparently I don't have permission. I don't have something set up right. Yeah, I am so sorry. I apologize for this. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. I think I'm getting it. Oh, I have to quit and reopen. Okay. I'm going to have to restart GoToWebinar, so I'll be back in just a minute. And again, super sorry about the technical difficulties that we're having. Those of us here at Securly don't typically use GoToWebinar, and you know, lesson learned. We should have done a practice run, but I will be right back. I think I am back, and now that's my video that's still not working. And Kyle, I do not see a way to share my screen.
let me see. Make you the presenter one more time. See if you
There
can.
we go. Yep.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit different approach, just to, review a few things. So as you all know, the Securly filter is SEPA compliant. We give you a bunch of features that allow you to make your job easier, and you can have visibility and control over all your devices regardless of the location. Because of the way that our filter is deployed, it's deployed as an extension and it works on all devices. So how it works for those of you who are fast readers, any network traffic that comes from on-campus devices or off-campus managed devices is captured by the Securly filter. And then we apply the appropriate policy to them. So traffic that's allowed will go through as normal. Encrypted traffic is decrypted and analyzed, and it's either allowed or blocked, and you get to determine what that blocked message is. You can put the blame on us if you want and say Securly has blocked this, or you can say this site is against the safe, appropriate internet use policy. You get to customize that message that pops up. And block traffic will block the page to the user, and if you choose, you can have an alert or an email sent directly to the most appropriate person. That's one of the cool things, is that you will always be able to see all of the traffic. It's logged for an administrator to use. But for those of you who are in the IT department, if you just want your school principals to see this, you could make them delegated admins so that they can have access to those reports as well. Now, for those of you who are visual learners, here is a little visual of how the filter works. And some of the benefits that the deployment is super simple. All of you will work directly with a dedicated solutions engineer to make sure your configuration and setup is exactly how you want it to be. We can support filtering on any device and any operating system. This will give you the confidence that you need to deploy your one-on-one device programs. And you'll also get that visibility and control over student devices, whether it's at home, at school, or anywhere in between. For the little kids, we also have a way that you can get reporting on iPads with no login required. It's a persistent login that we can help you install. You also get to define those custom policies. With our filter solution, you can have as many policies as you need. You can have a guest network policy. You can have a time-based policy. For those kids who violate the appropriate use policy, you can drop them into a 2-week penalty box. And then after 2 weeks, you don't need to go back and redo that policy. It will automatically release them to their own traditional policy. So some of the features, I'm just going to dig into these, and I know those of you on here can probably read faster to yourself than I can, but you can receive email alerts for blocked sites only. That way you can minimize some of that noise in your inbox, or you can delegate those alerts and access to the appropriate staff. So only people at this school will see those students who attend that school. Those take-home policies allow you to maintain that control when the school device is not on campus. And streamline bring your own device. So our unique selective SSL decryption lets you know who's using unmanaged devices and allows for reporting on encrypted traffic coming from those devices. That's really nice, when you have parents coming on site, or substitute teachers, volunteers, things like that. That live activity feed is real time. So by going into the console that Vin started to show us, you can see that live real-time tracking of sites visited, searches. You can also see those video thumbnails. We also have the page scan technology that allows you to function without having to worry about new websites that hit the World Wide Web. Our page scan technology will search for inappropriate images and keywords and categorize those new sites as soon as they're accessed. Again, the time-based policies that I mentioned. And what's great is those custom groups for those time-based policies or management groups, you can create them right through the console. You don't have to go into your Google admin and create new OUs. You can just manage and map them with custom groups. We do give you more customizable options to control YouTube. The guest policy, Smart Pack for iOS devices, and the Smart DNS so that you get full control and visibility into encrypted sites.
And it looks like Vin's back on here. Mindy, let's see if we can jump back into the dash.
Let's let Vin jump back into the live demo.
Hey, sorry about that. There was a Comcast internet outage right here in the office. So,
oh, awesome.
But luckily, it looks like we got it back up and running. So let's see. All right, can we see the screen again?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so not sure where I left off and disconnected, but in terms of this map right here, right? The essential thing here is when a student does look up, right? For example, how to tie in news that you see right here on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side, we can actually pinpoint where the student is actually located, and we can figure out, hey, is this a 911 type of emergency situation? How can we intervene? How can we assist the student? So we'll showcase you where that search actually happened. Now, getting into, let's say, the meat of the stuff, right? Here within the activity section, by default, we're going to showcase to you all activity, right? So we're going to show here that this student went to google.com. This student went to swagbucks.com. This is a student, Logan, is watching some YouTube video. We'll actually give you a display of what that video is. I can click on this link and it'll direct me to that exact YouTube video, right? So with the all activities, again, we're going to showcase literally everything your students are going to in real time as students are searching them. Now we can break this down to say, you know what, oh, actually, let's go to blocked activity. So here, I am now looking at every single thing that's currently being blocked by my students. If I want to see what Logan was doing, I can click on Logan's name. Now it's showcasing to me all of Logan's activity that's getting blocked from this date range. And of course, if I want to expand this out further, I can go ahead and do that and see the new type of data that's being displayed right there. Now, the big thing here is, like I mentioned, right, us as a web filter. Very simple for us to block a variety of activities, showcase to you that data. But what really separates Securely from anyone else is our flagged activity. And now when I talk about flagged activity, again, I'm talking about suicide, cyberbullying, violence, self-harm, threats to the school, students thinking about bringing a gun to the school, making a bomb. If any one of these actions happen, Securely is going to go ahead and flag that activity, and it's going to notify the school district in real time. So for example, this student here went to suicide.org, right? If the student was to go to a chat link within suicide.org, we'll showcase that they access a chat application within the reporting as well. A student here just search, school is making me want to commit suicide. Another student, what materials do you need to make a bomb? How to tie a noose, etc. Right? So why we are so invaluable to a lot of these school districts is that, yeah, we're going to block your pornography, your drugs, your gambling, etc. But what about those students that need that additional, I don't want to say love, but right, they need that additional touch, right? We want to make sure that if a student is crying for help, that they're looking up, why am I depressed, taking depression quizzes, talking about how to cope with depression. How can school counselors jump in and identify these students, but also provide these students with some assistance before they start searching things like how to tie a noose that school is making them want to commit suicide, and then visiting a suicide-related website, right? And this is why Securely is really valuable. And what we'll also do here is we'll take a look at social media data too, right? A student tweeted, y'all, like, I'm just so alone, I can't take it. So what's happening here is all of this is being powered by our AI. So what Securely has done is that we've worked for the past 9 years to develop an AI that understands the emotions behind the text. What's going on is that a student is looking up, yes, things of self-harm, but we want to make sure that when we see things that says, I'm alone, I cannot take it, we want to be able to flag that, because even though it's not saying, I want to kill myself, we understand that this is some type of depression, and we want to make sure that, again, schools are aware of it. So with Securely, we've built a world-class AI. This was the first ever AI that's designed specifically for students, and for students using our filter, right? What it's going to do, it's going to identify these students, but we want to eliminate as many false positives as possible. And what I mean is, a student searched and looked up, the Seahawks killed the Broncos, right? We know that even though they use the word kill, that's not a serious threat. We're not going to flag something like this. So the route that Securely has been going is, how do we ensure that we're talking about student mental health? How are we providing resources for school districts to identify these students? And there are a lot of students that are not being looked at right now. And how do we put more eyes on these students that are crying for help? Recently, we've expanded our AI to now be able to read and identify Spanish. So if you have students writing in Spanish about being lonely, about being depressed, about thinking about committing suicide, looking at where to buy guns, our AI will have the ability to pick that up in both English and in Spanish. I think Kyle mentioned how great our reporting is, right? Yes, our goal is to make it as simple as
Looks like we might have lost Ben again. This is turning out to be not a great day for the internet.
Yeah, I think they're having internet issues in his complex. So
Yeah.
Vin was starting to say that we try to make things as easy as possible for you to find the information you need. So I can't, manipulate his screen, and we'll hope that he'll be back. But if you just use your imagination with me, and we'll go across the top where it says recent. Recent is going to show you all of the recent activities. Obviously, sites is just going to show you the recent websites that people have gone to. Search is going to show you what they've been searching for, and social posts will be related to their social media. Under the policy editor button on the right, this is where we can start to create those policies and the level of restriction each group has. And you can have as many policies as you want. So you could have your guest network have very strict filtering controls, and your high school students maybe have a little bit looser controls than, say, the elementary kids do. So those policies can be as customized as you want. They can be temporary. They can be, time-based. So if you've got esports or after-school activities where from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. a certain group is in an after-school group, you can differentiate those policies based on what the students need at that time. This is also where you determine what the take-home policy is going to be. Ben, are you back yet? He is not. Okay. Staffing is where you can, oh, was that him?
I think he's
Nope.
back on. Let me see here. He's still muted, but it looks like he's getting back on.
Okay. There he is. Vin, are you back? Oh goodness. This is just not our day today, is it, Kyle?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not great. Looks like Vin is calling.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
So the internet went out again. I'm just dialed in onto my phone. So I don't know how much help I can be. So I apologize. If Mindy, you want to share your screen, I'm more than happy to walk through some of this. But
Yeah.
Comcast isn't being our friend today, unfortunately.
Right. So Kyle, can you give me permission to share my screen? Hey, and if you have any questions, please pop them in that question section. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties that we're having. Okay. There we go. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. So Vin, you were on the activity section, but there
Yeah.
we go.
We're pretty much done with the activity section, right? The big thing here was, hey, this is the information of what sites your students are going to, what they're searching online, and what we want to provide you is the bigger picture, right? The student that looks
And
up.
did you talk about reports?
Oh, okay, I did. So I probably cut off there. So under the report section, right, you can download reports, right? If I want to go, I can customize this report to whatever I want it to look like, and I can do just a simple export of this data. You can send this data automatically to your principals, school counselors, again, to your liking. But it's really simple for us to kind of go ahead and take a look at that reporting section there.
And the part that most of our customers what they really love about that is in your districts that, I'm sure there's only a handful of students that tend to be the students you need to keep more of an eye on. 90% of your students are probably, following the rules, they're doing things correctly. They're not really searching outside the norm. But those reports, as you saw, you can tie in and key in on specific individuals. So again, if you have a student that, is also hypersensitive that you're trying to watch because they may, be searching some things that are nefarious or whatnot. I mean, you can create that report based off that individual. I think that's really key for those, again, those reports to be auto-generated for your administration for the students that may be struggling in various ways, right? It could be one way or another.
Right. Okay, Ben, should we drop down to the policy editor?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I talked a little bit about this, explaining how people could have as many custom policies as they want. do you want to talk through your normal talking points now?
Yeah, for sure. So with the policies, right, our goal is to work with each school district to figure out what you want it all to look like, right? We can have this set up to where middle schoolers are filtered differently than high schoolers and versus your staff even. So you'll notice on the left-hand side, right, you see detention, teachers, high school, right? These are all the different policies. What's really common for a school district to do is, for example, like let's say detention. If a student is in detention, we can go ahead and put that student in the detention group, and now their filtering is based just off of what your rules are for someone that's in detention, right? The moment they leave detention, we can move them back to their standard group. So let's say they were in high school, they're automatically popped back into the high school. They're given all the rules and features that a high school student can do. So, Minnie, do you want to click on, say, the detention group really quick?
There we go.
Did that show up? Maybe a little slow on my end. I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody can.
Oh, got it. So here, right, some really core standard settings that we can take a look at, right? Number one, disable off-campus filtering. Of course, you most likely want that turned off. So we can have rules set to where, hey, I only want to filter my students when they're on campus, right? Once they leave campus, they're going to be unfiltered. Most schools have that disabled. You'll notice also like gun-related activity. So we have certain school districts that have gun clubs or bigot hunters, right? You'll have the ability to turn that feature on or off so that you're not going to get inundated with students looking at hunting or gun-related activity. There are, of course, some districts that really want to make sure that that is flagged and that they are aware of it, but we did separate that right there. Can you jump into the categories section, Mindy? Now,
You bet.
as Mindy loads this, for the categories, this here is essentially going to be a list of all the categories of how we are going to identify our websites. So you can see drugs, gambling, adult content, etc. Right away, I can either block or allow these categories. But note, since we're in the detention group, all of these changes will only impact your students that are in the detention group, right? Again, you want to customize this and you want to say, this is high school. You want high school, we're going to give you access to social media. Of course, schools aren't doing that, but it just gives you that ability. You'll also notice a little bell next to it. What the bell is going to represent is a notification. So, great example is pornography is currently being blocked. If a student looks up boobies, yes, they're going to get blocked. Do you need to know that a student searched that? Probably not. So most schools will have the little bell icon unchecked just so they don't get an email notification every single time. But let's say a student looks up where to buy cocaine, they're going to get a block page. And yes, you can set that up so where you will get the emails alert if students are doing drug-related content and you want those notifications, right? So very, very simple for us to kind of modify these categories, which you want on or off. Now, when you go to the allow block side, what this is going to allow you to do is even further look into some of these things like, right, I'm going to block, or I'm allowing in this example, coolmathgames.com. We have Cool Math Games listed as a gaming website, but as a school district, you could override that and say, you know what, I actually want students to have access to that, so I'm putting that in my allow side. Now, vice versa, I can also go on blocked. You can see here we have Wikipedia blocked. Some schools may add Google Translate on their block websites. So it's really up to you to kind of categorize how you want specific sites to be either blocked or allowed. What's a huge advantage is that we can do a top level domain. So for example, a lot of our schools will block .io, .ai, even if it's, let's say, mathhelp.io, if it's coming from a .io website, it's automatically going to get blocked. We can even block keywords. So a couple of years ago, we had the big Momo challenge. With the Momo challenge, right, a student's looking up what is the Momo challenge, we can actually put that in the block list. So if students are using that word Momo, it's automatically going to block the sites that are related to the words Momo. So again, another reminder, right? We're in the detention group. So these rules will only impact your detention students. Of course, as you know, we will clone this and we can call it high schoolers, and you can make those adjustments to reflect just your high schoolers. Now, when you go to YouTube, this is a really unique feature within Securely as well, is that we're going to be able to give you the ability to control some of your YouTube settings. For example, right, I'm going to hide my thumbnails, hide my comments, hide my sidebars, right? I want to put on restrict access only. But let's say you decide, you know what, let's block all of YouTube except for Khan Academy's channel. You can go ahead and add Khan Academy to that channel, and just, you know, any videos within the within the Khan Academy channel, you'll have access to. Same situation with videos. I want to pick a specific video. Maybe I'm blocking all of YouTube except for these 10 videos. I can go ahead here and add those web links, or add those links in there. And then categories, the final thing here. Within categories, what we're going to showcase is, all right, I have all of these categories, how YouTube identifies these videos. This is where you can go block and allow videos based off of YouTube's categorization. But right, this is simple, right? Our goal was to make this as simple as possible. You have a handful of categories you're looking at. You have just generic settings that you're running through. Once you identified, okay, this is perfect, this is how I like this OU structured, I'll clone this and I'm going to call it high school. I'm going to make my minor adjustments. I'll clone it again. I'm calling it middle school, and I'll make those minor adjustments right away. So now you have really detailed restrictions and just different access for every single one of the OUs that you wish to apply it to. We can go ahead and jump into, let's say, go to Aware. So what Aware is, this is kind of an extension of our flagged alerts, right? Earlier in the block section, we showcased you guys all of the flagged alerts for searches and social media. What this is going to do now is going to house them all in this Aware section. And what you'll see here are lots of flagged activities in Google Docs and in Gmail, right? This is where students are starting to get creative. Students are opening up a Google Doc, they're adding their friends to this Google Doc, and they're saying, hey, I just got this new chat room, come join me. They've created this chat room, and they think that no one has the ability to see this Google Doc because, one, they're going to write some message, they're going to all start to laugh, and they delete the message, and they think no one sees it, right? Here comes Securely. With Securely, as students are writing, we're going to be able to capture that, and then we're going to send that data back to the school district so you are aware of it. Now, this is just a really common practice that students are doing, but this is the way that Securely can go in and assist school districts when bullying tends to happen. And yes, this is where we do find the most bullying activity is in Google Docs because of this, I'm air quoting, chat room functionality that students are using. Right? But then if you click on that Friday one, you'll also notice that there's a confidence score of 5 on this, right? So what this means is that our AI thinks that this is a very true and a very accurate alert. So if we look at this really quick, right, this is a prime example of how powerful our AI is. This note that you see here, this is actually a real note that our AI has the ability to capture. For those looking at the screen, feel free to start reading it. But one thing I want you to notice is that, one, there's not a single word or phrase in there that says, I'm going to commit suicide, that I'm going to hurt myself, or anything of this nature. We're picking up things, right? This is the best option for me to take. I know that it does not seem like that at this moment, but trust me when I say this is for the best. Blank, you're the best sibling I could ever ask for. You have helped me get through so many difficult times, etc., etc. Right? This is why our AI is outrageously powerful. Like I said, a lot of solutions out there. They're looking for the word kill, suicide, cut my wrist, right? With Securely, we go well beyond that, and we identify these students that are crying for help and that need assistance. So when we capture this flag, a Google Doc here, we here can notify the school right away, but of course our system is in real time. It's going to showcase and send this alert to your school district, to your contacts, and we'll make sure that you guys literally get it the moment this document gets posted, right? So with Securly, all of our alerts will happen in real time, right? And this is the power of Securly. Sure, we'll block your pornography, gambling, drugs, etc., but we need to ensure the student wellness and the student safety of our students are protected, and that we have resources to help guide school districts in that manner. If we look at every single state across the U.S., everyone has a plan to take a look at student mental health and student mental wellness, and what this all really resonates, and what this all looks like, and of course, it all resonates with them. I mean, that's kind of, the core highlights, right, of Securly, right? I know, I think we've got a lot more technical folks on here, but as a quick reminder, with our solution, we work on any type of device, anywhere. The deployment will take no more than 15 minutes. It's outrageously quick to deploy securely. And of course, you got a great partner like Pine Cove here to provide any additional assistance. And of course, as always, you'll have Securly's full support team to hop in whenever. But I know we had 15 or so minutes left. I wanted to make sure we had room for questions, to get anything else answered. And again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I see everyone in their office running around trying to figure out what to do. So thank you everyone for being flexible.
No, thank you, Vin, for jumping on to do this with us. I don't see any questions coming through the chat. We'll give it another second to see if anything comes through. Just for everyone who is here, and for those who didn't attend, this is recorded, so we will probably trim this down a little bit, some of the spots where we were a little silent trying to get Vin reconnected here, and send this back out. So we should be able to have a copy to you at some point, today or first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm not seeing any questions come in, and I am seeing some people start to leave. So
I did get one here from Josh Taylor. It says, does Securly do a DNS filter? Do you want to take that, Mindy?
yes.
Yeah, I can answer. In short, yeah. In short is yes. So we'll do DNS filtering. We can do Chrome extension filtering. And of course, we have something that is patented by Securly called Smart Pack, which we would use to deploy on your Apple devices. But in short, yes, a DNS filter is a common solution for Windows devices. But we do have a really powerful Edge extension that most of our school districts are switching to. One, it's outrageously easy to deploy, and you get a lot of additional configurations with it. But yes, in short, DNS filtering, absolutely.
I'll give the short answers, and then Vin will give the long answers.
It's a great question, Josh. Thank you. And we have customers that do, all the different flavors of what, Vin just described. They're running Smart Pack, they're running extension, they've done, Smart DNS. So variety of ways. It's not like a one shoe fits all, right? You can do different deployment methods.
Yeah, and that's why when we meet with our engineers, we will go ahead and figure out what your current setup infrastructure is like, what our recommendation is, and how we want to deploy this. But the best thing is that whether you use a DNS filtering or just a Chrome extension filtering, all that data is going to go into Securly, showcase it here on one dashboard. So it's really easy for you to read and identify, right? A lot of times you'll have students that are starting off on a Chromebook, but let's say they go to a computer lab and now they're on a Windows device. We still have the ability to make sure that student A's traffic from the Chromebook goes in line with when the student A is on a Mac, on an iPad, on a Windows device. That traffic will still follow student A to make sure that, hey, if they are looking up things of depression on a Chromebook, they go to an iPad, they're still looking at things of depression. We still know that all of that activity is still tied to student A.
So Josh has a follow-up question, Ben, if you can answer this. So what's the best method for BYOD?
Oh, excellent question. So we actually have a couple of different ways to handle BYOD. One, we will create a BYOD network for every single school district as well. So I walk onto your campus, I'm a guest, I can connect to your BYOD network, and you know how Minnie showed the different policies and all of those rules? We'll essentially do the same thing for a guest network. So guests are going to get blocked with pornography, drugs, gambling, etc. The same type of setup. Now, on this simplified BYOD situation, I go onto your campus, I connect to your BYOD network, I'm in as a guest. Yes, I will be blocked if I try to access any of those websites. However, you won't know that that's coming from me, Vin, right? Because I'm not authenticating myself. I'm not saying that this is me and this is my traffic. So there's that method, number one. Real simple. We create guest network, you're up and running instantly. Second method is if you want, you can force the users to install Securly and authenticate themselves to get all of this data. So what's going to happen is I walk onto your campus, I connect to your network, I'm going to get a splash page that says, oh, we've detected you are on a Mac, right? To access the internet, you'll need to go and do the following things. And so they'll do some settings changes. And once they make those changes, it'll let them get onto your network. And then if I start searching, you know, how do I harm myself? You as a school are going to see, oh, this was Vin, this was his traffic, this was the time, this is where he was at, this is all of those data and all those analytics, right? So we can do that as well. Most schools don't go that route just because it requires a lot of additional steps, right? If I have a guest on here, I just want to make sure I'm still SIPA compliant. I want to make sure this guest isn't trying to access inappropriate websites, right? So most schools would go with method one, where it's just a really simple guest network.
Thank you, Vin. Josh said thank you as well. Thank you, Josh. We'll give it another second, see if there's any more questions that roll through. But thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, post call, feel free to reach out to us. I'll go ahead and put in the in our response, excuse me, we'll email out this recording, and in that response, we'll also have our information. So if you guys have any questions or need to set up a follow-up demo, if you need some more information, like your district needs more specific, you know, installation information, whatever it is, like, please let us know. We're happy to get that to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think that's it. We'll go ahead and call it. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.